Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Don't go too far, creaking door. We'll need you in a few moments, as this hour, an episode of Inner-Sanctum-Mysteries, as it was broadcast over ABC 72 years ago today, November 6, 1950, Twice Dead, starring Larry Haines. And we thank you for tuning in on this Sunday, 6th day of November, 310th day of the year, 55 days remaining, midway through autumn. In presidential elections on this date, Abraham Lincoln elected as the 16th president of the U.S., the first Republican to hold office in 1860. 1888, Democrat incumbent Grover Cleveland won the overall popular vote, voted out of office because he lost in the Electoral College to Republican Benjamin Harrison. Republican incumbent William McKinley re-elected in 1900 by defeating Democrat challenger William Jennings Bryan. 1928, Herbert Hoover winning by a wide margin over Democrat Al Smith. Republican incumbent Dwight Eisenhower re-elected in 1956 on this date by defeating Democrat challenger Adlai Stevenson in a rematch of their contest 4 years earlier. And it was on this date in 1984 Ronald Reagan defeated Walter Mondale to be re-elected in one of the largest electoral landslides in U.S. election history.
Just a short time ago, Walter Mondale phoned me and he'd concede. And he told me that the people had made their decision, and therefore we were all Americans. We'd go forward together.
President Reagan being reelected to his second term in office in 1984. And Barack Obama reelected president in 2012. Tammy Baldwin became the first openly gay politician to be elected to the U.S. Senate. Other news on this date in history: before the New York section of the Institute of Radio Engineers, Edwin Armstrong in 1935 presented his paper, A Method of Reducing Distances in Radio Signaling by a System of Frequency Modulation, and thus began the creation of FM radio. The Hedda Hopper Show debuted in 1939 with Hollywood gossip Hedda Hopper as host. The show would run until 1951 and made Hopper a powerful figure in the Hollywood elite. Meet the Press made its television debut on this date in 1947. It went to a weekly schedule the following year. UN General Assembly passed a resolution in 1962 condemning South Africa's racist apartheid policies and called for all UN member states to cease military and economic relations with the nation. In 1986, the American press revealed President Reagan had authorized the shipments of arms to Iran. President Reagan firm when a reporter asked.
The speculation, the commenting and all on a story that came out of the Middle East and that to us has no foundation, that all of that is making it more difficult for us in our effort to get the other hostages free.
President Reagan on this date in 1986. It was on this date in 1989, the wife of presidential candidate Massachusetts Governor Michael Dukakis, Kitty Dukakis, hospitalized for drinking rubbing alcohol. Michael Bloomberg, elected mayor of New York City in 2001. Winona Ryder found guilty of shoplifting in 2002 after stealing $5,500 worth of items from a New York boutique. 2009, the government reported unemployment rose to 10.2% in the U.S. in October, the first time the jobless rate had hit double digits since 1983. Passing away on this date in history, the very delightful record producer Dickie Goodman. He was responsible for a lot of compilation records, if you will, where he would say a sentence and then it'd take a clip out of a record album, and they were funny records. The man who didn't sell out the arenas, but a man who a lot of people went to see when he was wrestling, midget wrestler Skylo Low, wrestler Crash Holly, and singer-songwriter guitarist Hank Thompson. Please help me, I'm falling. This is the birth date of Belgian inventor Adolphe Sax, the saxophone, of course, journalist and economist Charles Dow, John Philip Sousa, inventor of the sousaphone and did a lot of great marches, don't you know? The inventor of basketball, James Naismith, basketball player Walter Johnson, Ray Conniff, Somewhere My Love, wonderful music. Mike Nichols, the film director, Stonewall Jackson, who passed away just this last year at the age of 89, fine country singer. Glenn Fry of the Eagles, actress Rebecca Schaefer, Pat Tillman, the football player, and heavens to Betsy, the delightful Jonathan Harris.
Thank heavens not everybody's in this ridiculous position and condition. Now what has happened to these?
Moisture, I need moisture.
Oh, Nixus, your king has a very delicate back. Oh, the pain.
That does not compute.
You computerized cloud, jabbering Judas, bumbling bird brain, tattling cars, mental midget, blithering bumpkin.
It is Dr. Smith who is a bubble-headed booby.
Irwin Allen gave Jonathan a lot of leeway in the way that he performed as Dr. Smith. Much of the script was rewritten, at least his parts were, and the people whom he worked with. It was a delightful story to hear Jonathan Harris talk about that. Jonathan Harris, lost in space, born on this date in history. Mrs. Herb Alpert, born on this date in history. Lonnie Hall had a great career with Brazil 66. Wonderful singer, 77 years old today. Sally Field, whom we really like her. 76 years old today. Maria Shriver, 67. From Footloose, Laurie Singer, 65. From Generations and Melrose Place, Kelly Rutherford, 53. From the Dead Poets Society and Reality Bites, Ethan Hawke, 52. Mystique in the original X-Men trilogy, Rebecca Romaine, 49. From Orange is the New Black and Sons of Anarchy, Taryn Manning, 44. And from Easy A, The Help, and the 2012 Spider-Man, Emma Stone, 34. Those just a few of the people who celebrate the 6th day of November as their birthday. If this is your birthday...
Hi, we're the 4 freshmen, and we just want to say... Happy birthday to you!
From 72 years ago, November 6, 1950... Inner-Sanctum-Mysteries, Twice Dead. That's coming up next on this Sunday Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite station.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you can get both, why not? Especially when it comes to healthcare. And that's MediShare. You get both. The typical family saves $500 a month switching to MediShare. And that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch too. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. It's because MediShare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge PPO network, so yeah, really, you could save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. If you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. Here is the number you need. Call 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
A tip of the hat and welcome back to our friends in Iowa, listening to us on the 50,000-watt blowtorch KXEL every Sunday evening from 6 until 9. We thank you for making us a part of your weekend, and if you would, our friends in Iowa, let Jeff Stein know. It was a pleasure talking with him. We've talked several times about classic radio. They turned 80 this year, and most likely today's show did air on KXEL, as this episode of Inner Sanctum Mysteries that we're about to hear from 72 years ago was in fact broadcast over ABC, and KXEL was an ABC affiliate at that time. So here we go, Inner Sanctum Mysteries, Twice Dead, starring Larry Haines, from 72 years ago, November 6th, 1950.
Inner Sanctum Mysteries, brought to you by the American Broadcasting Company. Tonight, Twice Dead, starring Larry Haines.
Good evening, friends of the creaking door. This is your host to welcome you again into the inner sanctum. Come in. Come on in, please. And will you excuse me while I scrape the mud off my hands? Got them dirty in the cemetery, digging up a plot for you. But that's something that we'll all go into sooner or later. A plot. Oh, by the way, before we start, I'd like to reassure you, if you suddenly find yourself spinning like a wheel, don't be alarmed. It's because you've got spooks all around you. Oh, and please be considerate, folks. If you find yourself going to pieces, pull yourself together. Remember, I have to sweep up afterwards. On the northern coast of Maine, there's a high point of land. A high point from which there's a sheer drop of several hundred feet to the rock-churned surf below. Centuries of seas have shaped 3 tall, spire-like rocks into needle-sharp points which look from the sea like the spires of an ancient Gothic cathedral. The cliff is called Cathedral Rock, and here some weeks ago, David Morgan, grief-tortured, tugged his wife's impaled body off the bloody point of the tallest spire. There are those in the village who say that David Morgan's mind is broken because he insists Carol will come back to live with him.
I'll be finished in a moment, Seth.
I told Morrison in the village you was carving Carol's tombstone yourself. He laughed.
Mm-hmm.
Easy to read, too. Here lies Carol Morgan, wife of David Morgan. Born July 14th, 1912. Died horribly on Cathedral Rock, August 12th, 1950. Still don't see why you put that in.
Why not? She did die horribly, didn't she?
But
With that spike of rock coming out of her back like a speared salmon.
Time you forgot those things, David. Time you forgot other things, too.
What other things?
Ain't no secret about you thinking Carol's coming back from the dead.
Oh, I don't mean it to be a secret. There are forces all around us, dead and living, that we don't understand, Seth. I feel Carol in his rooms. I smell her perfume. I hear her voice in the wind when I'm at her grave on the cliff.
That's only natural, son. You're grieving. A little while.
In a little while, Carol will be back. If you're going to help me get this stone to her grave, get a lantern and come on. Hold the lantern closer. There. Wow. It's a decent enough stone.
Folks in the village been saying things about you.
Oh, like what?
That a man acting like you do has a guilty conscience.
And what do you think, Seth?
Me, I don't believe such things. Any more than I believe the dead can return. Come on back to the house.
No. I want to stay here a while.
Hey, but you've got
I want to stay here a while.
Sure. Torture yourself like you do. Every night come dark. Go ahead. You'll meet Carol again when I bury you next to her. Up here.
Now, leave me alone. Let me be. Oh, Carol. Carol. Come back. Tell me you forgive me.
Hello.
What? Carol.
You're sad. I can tell I'm sad, too. Can you help me?
You've come back. Carol, you've come...
Why do you call me Carol?
Who are you?
I don't know.
What are you doing here?
I'm looking for my cat. A black cat with white feet and a white spot under the neck.
Why did you come here?
I don't know. I just got on the bus at Portsmouth, and then I thought of my cat, and I had the bus stop, and I came toward the sea.
You'd better come back to the house with me.
Oh, but I can't. Not
Now, come
until
along.
I
I'll help you find your cat.
Have you seen him?
No. There's been no cat around here. Not for several weeks.
Why did you call me Carol?
I was waiting for someone. Someone named Carol. Want some more coffee?
Oh, no, thank you. I feel better now. You've been very nice. People haven't been nice. They look at me strangely.
Well, it might be your clothes. They're torn.
No, it's more than that. I've looked in mirrors. My eyes don't look like other women's eyes look. Will you help me, please? I must be somebody.
Sure, I'll help you. I'll get Doc Suthers up here, and he'll be able to...
It's Minnie. Oh, see, I told you. Come here, Minnie. Come here, baby.
What did you call that cat?
Minnie, of course. Why? Why are you looking at me like that?
That cat belonged to my wife. It hasn't been in this house since the day she died. And the cat's name's Minnie.
Oh, then it must be that I belong here. This must be my home.
The devil's got hold of you, David. I don't know you anymore. I don't trust you.
Why not? What harm do you think I can do you or want to?
I've known you since you were a boy. Long years. I come back here to stay with you when Carol died, to help. But you're beyond help. You're mad. Because you're thinking Carol has come back to you, living in this woman's body.
And who's to say that couldn't happen? You?
I'm a God-fearing man, David. And such a thing would be the devil's work. I'll have none of it.
If Carol can come back to me in any way, that's what I want. Even if she made a pact with the devil himself. It's the girl. Bring the flashlight. Come on. Open up. It's David Morgan.
It's the chair. The rocking chair by the window.
Carol's chair.
What about it?
It rocked. It rocked by itself.
It must have been the wind.
Oh, the window's closed. What was that all you saw?
It was all I saw. But there were things I felt.
Like what?
The chair stopped rocking. As though someone had gotten up from it, and then the floor between the chair and the bed creaked. And a moment later, the bed spring sagged beside me as though someone sat there.
But you saw nothing.
I only heard a sigh. A tired kind of sigh.
Take her to my room, Seth. Oh, you had a dream. That's all. Your mind's upset. Tomorrow I'll try to find out who you are. If it's not too late.
Has the morning brought you to your right senses?
Depends on what you call right senses.
I mean about the girl.
Where is she?
I don't know. I haven't seen her this morning.
Where did Carol used to be this time of morning?
A little after 8? She'd have been in the hothouse looking to her flowers. Why?
Good morning. Oh, look at these wonderful flowers.
Jehoshaphat.
Do you mind that I pick some for the table?
You can pick as many flowers as...
Well, what are you staring at me for?
That dress. Where'd you get it?
Oh, I found it in a closet. Mine was so torn I had to do something. Do you mind?
Oh, no. And your hair is different, too.
I feel better with it up. Does it look right?
Exactly right.
You finished eating?
Oh, yes. I've got to go. I'm going out for haddock today.
I won't be seeing you again, then.
Why not?
Because I have to go. I must find out who I am.
I mean to do just that tonight.
But what will I do till then?
Nothing. Just wait. I'm driving Seth to the village. You'll be quiet and alone. Just rest.
But I'm afraid of being alone.
You won't be alone.
Oh, shut up. I fed you this noon, didn't I? Oh, who's there?
It's me. Is that you, Carol?
You scared me. Who are you?
I guess you're not Carol, are you?
I guess not.
Have you seen her?
No, I understand Carol is dead.
That's what everybody says, but I don't believe it. I come here whenever David leaves, and I look for her.
What was Carol to you, I mean?
My sister.
Oh, what makes you think she's still alive? Have you seen her?
No, but David hasn't changed a thing in this house since he hid her. You see?
As if the story couldn't take a stranger turn. Inner Sanctum Mysteries, 72 years ago, November 6, 1950, on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Thank you for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox here on your favorite radio station. We are listening to Inner Sanctum Mysteries, as it was originally broadcast on Monday, November 6, 1950, at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. In the newspapers of that Monday, 72 years ago, these were some of the headlines. General Douglas MacArthur charged today the Chinese Communists in one of the most offensive acts of international lawlessness had sought to trap his United Nations forces by intervening in the Korean War, asserting that the trap had been evaded only by the perspicacity and skill of his troop command in Korea. MacArthur said in a special UN communique that he has destroyed the North Korean army. He's now faced with a new and fresh army backed up by a possibility of large alien reserves and adequate supplies within easy reach to the enemy, but beyond the limits of our present sphere of military action. Thirdly, the question whether these reserves will be used is a matter of the gravest international significance. And fourth, our present mission is limited to the destruction of those forces now arrayed against us in North Korea. By implication, in his grim summary, MacArthur asked the UN for fresh instructions, presumably instructions whether to carry the war to the enemy, if necessary. The United States government reported last night to be considering telling Communist China that power plants on the North Korean-Manchurian border will be destroyed if more troops are sent against UN forces in North Korea. Reliable informants said the country has in mind telling Communist China, in effect, these things: agreements under which Communist China and Korea share the power from the huge Suyu Dam on the Korean-Manchurian border will be observed and maintained if China refrains from further intervention in the Korean conflict. However, if Red China sends more troops against the UN forces in Korea, the Suyu Power Dam will be destroyed. Sources close to General Douglas MacArthur said today the start of World War III may well hinge on China's reply to MacArthur's assertion that alien communists have entered the war in Korea. Relman Morin, writing for Associated Press, says everything depends on the Chinese reaction to MacArthur's special communique. And leaders of United Dries, fighting for statewide prohibition in Arkansas, wanted to broadcast activities of a rally at the state capitol Saturday. A telephone outlet was needed to hook up the radio microphone. Naturally, they wanted the handiest outlet. They used it in the office of the Arkansas Alcoholic Beverages Division of the Arkansas Revenue Department. And those some of the day's top news stories as reported in the newspapers of Monday, November 6, 1950, on your radio, Inner Sanctum Mysteries, which continues now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
There. And over there. Everything just like she left it. Her apron's hanging on the door. You see?
But maybe he left...
Yeah, and I found something in the cellar. Something very important.
What?
A skeleton. And I found a box with lots of money in it. It's fun looking for Carol. Come with me and I'll show you what I found.
No.
You come with me. Don't make me mad. You can help me look for Carol.
I'll look upstairs.
No. I want you to come with me in the cellar.
Help!
You must make me mad.
What? Oh, no.
Don't be scared. It's me, Van.
Where is this?
I took you to the cellar. We've got to find Carol. I'm sorry I hit you. You made me mad.
What are you going to do? Why did you take me here? Carol is dead.
No, she ain't. She's here somewhere. Besides, I promised I'd show you the room below the cellar. Well, with the skeleton and the box of money in it. Don't you remember?
Help me up.
You see, I've lifted the door. It's heavy. It's stone. But I'm strong.
Yes. Is that where it is?
Yeah. I'll hold the lantern over the opening. See? There's a ladder.
Get the box for me. I want to see it.
All right. Wait here and hold the lantern so I can see. Hold the lantern higher. I can't see. Hold the lantern higher. Let me out!
Longer than I thought. What's the matter? What are you crying about?
A man was here.
Who?
Carol's brother.
Dan?
Yes, he was horrible. Why didn't you tell me about him?
He isn't important.
Oh, he isn't. He could have killed me. You told me everything else about Carol. You should have told me that.
Never mind, Van. You just do what I told you. Soon as David gets in that crazy mind of his, that Carol's spirit's coming back in you, he'll have no secrets from you. And we'll know where he keeps that box of money.
I don't want to do it. I'm through.
No, he ain't. They took good care of that. Took the trouble of finding out some things about you in Hollywood.
I don't care what you found out. I don't care if you are my uncle. The money you've been sending me since Mother died was something you promised her you'd do.
Yep. Now you're going to help me get it back. All of it. And lots more for both of us. You want to make a success out there as an actress, don't you? Takes money, don't it?
Lots of it.
Well, David and Carol had over 100,000 put aside in that box of theirs. Now just you find it.
My first professional role. An amnesia case. For half what's in a tin box.
It'll be easy. You'll see. You might as well not tell you tonight.
No. I'm through.
What's ailing you anyhow?
I don't know. I get thinking what they do. That Carol's still alive or that her ghosts around anyhow.
Oh, bosh. Saw her buried myself and don't believe in ghosts. You've been studying it too much, that's what.
Maybe. Uncle says...
What is it?
How long can a man live in a small sealed room without air?
From 72 years ago, November 6, 1950, Inner Sanctum Mysteries, the conclusion next on this Sunday Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. On Monday's Classic Radio Theater, the first episode of Dr. Christian, starring Jean Herschel, going back 85 years to November 7th, 1937, Operation in a Shack. Dr. Christian, forced to operate in a shack to save a young boy's life. That's on Monday's Classic Radio Theater. But now the conclusion of Inner Sanctum Mysteries, 72 years ago, November 6th, 1950.
Hello, sir. Where's the woman?
Upstairs, I reckon, David. How was the fishing?
Bad. Maybe half a ton, mostly scrod. What's the girl been doing?
Just walking around, I guess.
She seemed happy here? Or is she restless? Did she leave to see anybody or such?
Seems happy. Too happy.
What's that?
What's what?
Shh. Can't you hear something pounding like it?
Yes, I kind of do. In the cellar seems.
I'm going down to have a look. Might be a beam slipping.
David!
Oh, hello.
Oh, David, I'm glad you're back. I want to talk to you very seriously, I do.
All right. I think the time's come to talk, if you feel like it.
But not here, please. I want to walk along the bluff.
The last time I walked this way toward the rock was with Carol. She died horribly. Nobody saw us. We were alone. Was that frightening?
No. I know the story, and I feel very sad about it. That's why I wanted to talk to you before it's too late. Before we do anything about finding out who I am. I don't want to go back to any other life.
Why not?
I never was so happy to be with anyone as I am here with you, David.
Don't move. Look down there. Over the edge. See those rocks? The pointed one.
Yes. Cathedral Rock, isn't it?
Yes. Carol was standing right where you are when she fell. It's Carol who told you to get off the bus here, to come looking for a cat. Even made you know the cat's name, made you pick flowers in the morning like she always did.
No, wait, David, wait.
She's coming back to me. Through you.
Wait, David, I want to
I've
tell you.
wanted Carol back. Because I loved her. But I've been afraid. Because I murdered Carol.
You murdered her?
We quarreled. About Seth. She was standing just as you are. Right there.
Oh,
What's the matter?
David, my back. Oh, help me. My back. Something is stabbing me. Stabbing me. Oh.
I'm going down to the village for the doctor, Seth.
Don't want the doctor. Please, feeling better?
No, you stay quiet. I'm going. Seth will look after you. I can get the doc faster by going.
All right. You can stop the acting now. What happened?
He was telling me that he murdered Carol. I had a pain. A terrible pain in my chest and back. It wasn't acting.
Murdered Carol? That's crazy. You had an argument with her. She got mad and started to run back to the house. Tripped and went over the cliff. Everybody knows that. He feels guilty, that's all.
He didn't say that.
Probably didn't get a chance. Did you find out anything about the box of money?
Yes, I know where it is.
Where?
The box is in the subcellar.
Hey, I thought of that. I'll go down now and... Wait. That thumping in the cellar. That have something to do with the box?
Yes. I had to, Uncle Seth. Then he scared me and I closed the door and I bolted it on him.
You fool.
Well, I had to.
Changes things.
What do you mean?
Didn't mean to do this, but I've got to now.
I'm going with you.
No, Alice. Aim to have all the money. You'll stay here.
No!
See to that. Van? Van. Dead, all right. There sits the box. 100,000 or better. To pay for 40 years with the Morgans. Better than 100,000.
Hello, Seth. You might as well bring the box up with you. I wanted to get it myself.
Alice, I hit you.
You were unconscious.
You killed Van. You killed my brother as well. Come on up and be careful. I know how to use David's gun.
Alice, I didn't mean to leave you there.
Come up with the box. Or would you rather I kick the door closed on you?
Alice, don't be a fool. Let's get away first. Then I'll explain.
Why do you call me Alice? That's your niece in California. I'm Carol.
Carol's dead. Alice, you're out of your mind. Carol is dead.
Is Carol really dead? Do I look dead? Does this gun look like a ghost was holding?
I can prove it. But we've got to hurry.
Prove I'm dead how?
Come to the top of the cliffs with me. I'll show you Carol's grave. There. Look. You can see, can't you? There's the grave, weeks old.
It's a trick. You did this to trick me. I am Carol.
Look at the tombstone and read it. Here lies Carol Morgan, wife of David Morgan.
I don't believe it. Where's David?
He's gone to the village to get a doctor for you. You're my niece, Alice, and we've got his money box. Now come with me before it's too late.
No, I don't believe you. It's a trick. David!
Alice, get away from those rocks.
You won't get this box. And you won't trick me with lies. David will take care of that when he comes.
Give me that box.
Don't come another step, sis, or I'll kill you for sure.
You wouldn't dare. You know good and well you killed Carol's brother. You won't dare shoot. Give me that box. There she is, Doc, on the cliff. You see her?
Now, take it easy, son. I'm not a young man. You run on to her. I'll catch her.
All right, but hurry. Carol! Carol, get away from there. Carol, get back on the path.
I thought you'd never come. Seth, he tried.
Never mind that. Get away from the cliff. You're too close to the edge.
Oh, my back. Oh, David, that pain again.
Carol! Doctor, hurry. She's going to faint again.
David!
Carol, look out. You'll fall. Carol, you'll fall off the cliff. Dead. Carol's dead again. And pierced by the same rock.
It was an accident, son. From what you tell me, she had a seizure. Pleurisy pain. Very painful and contorting.
I said it was the pain of remembering how the rock felt when she fell. Carol's dead again.
I wish I knew what happened here with Seth. She must have shot him just before we come.
Oh, I can answer that easy enough. Carol always mistrusted Seth. She knew he was biding his time to steal our money. Probably followed him here with the gun after he took it from her.
Where's the money? In that box?
No. No, in the bank. That's what I don't understand. She must have forgotten about the stage money.
How do you mean?
You know her brother Van. Kind of simple in the head. She was always playing games with him like he was a kid.
Yeah.
Well, she gave him the box and filled it with paper money so he could hide it around the house and make believe finding buried treasure.
Well, doesn't that prove the poor girl below couldn't be Carol? She'd have known there was no money in it.
Oh, it doesn't prove that a bit. I searched the whole house for that box after she fell first time. Never found it. Last I talked with Van, he couldn't find it. Would anybody besides Carol know where it was hid?
Well, all right. Have it your way. I'll leave you be for a spell, and I'll send the sheriff and help from the village. I've been a doctor too long to say what's dead can't live again. One way or another.
Poor David. Imagine a sailing man losing both his first and second mate. Oh, well, so he winds up with a -2 as the net result. You know, one thing about it, when David buries Alice, he'll have less work. Just knock some new chips off the old block. Oh, I got a moral for you folks who like to go sailing. Next time you're on a boat, remember this. Trim the sails and not the sailors, or you could wind up being the salt of the earth.
Tonight's Inner Sanctum Mystery was written by Fred Matho and starred Larry Haines in the role of David. Amzie Strickland played Alice, and music was by Lou White. This month's Inner Sanctum Mystery novel is Poor Prisoner's Defense by Richard Sheldon. The entire production of Inner Sanctum is under the direction of Hyman Brown.
Well, friends, it's time again to close that creaking door. Until next week at this same time, when we'll be back with another weird tale. Oh, next week's scare, Skeleton in the Sun, is the short, frightful tale of a beach bum who tries to convert a hot corpse into cold cash. Where romance takes a turn for the worse when he loses his mind over a girl who's already lost hers. You'll help mourn his passing, won't you? Next Monday. Until then, good night. Pleasant dreams.
November 6, 1950, Inner Sanctum Mysteries on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Have a great week ahead. Visit my webpage, classicradio.stream, where you can stream our shows on demand, learn more about classic radio collecting. You can contact me there, find our social media links, and if you like what we do, you can buy me a coffee. That's all at classicradio.stream. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank this station. Support the advertisers. Hello to our new folks in Iowa. We're glad to be back with you there on KXEL. And tell your friends great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.